Every great story in history begins with a question nobody thought to ask. Welcome to the Info Lens, where we look beyond the headlines, beyond the textbooks, and beyond the surface, to find the truth that was always there. There is a man alive right now who is trying to solve transportation, energy, space travel, brain-computer interfaces, entertainment, and he is doing all of it simultaneously. His name is Elon Musk, and we celebrate him as a once-in-a-generation visionary. A man doing things nobody has ever attempted before. A man reshaping the future single-handedly. But here is what history wants you to know. Exactly 100 years ago, almost to the month, another man walked into a room with the exact same ambition. He did not just want to solve one problem. He wanted to solve every problem at once. Transportation, energy, broadcasting, manufacturing. He wanted to build a new world from scratch. His name was Powell Crosley Jr. And he succeeded. Brilliantly. At first. But something happened that almost nobody talks about. Something that Elon Musk is quietly watching unfold in real time, whether he knows it or not. Because Powell Crosley's story is not a story about ambition. It is a story about what happens when one man's genius becomes too big for the world to handle. It is 1923. America is roaring. The automobile is transforming cities. Radio is brand new, and most people have never heard a voice travel through the air without a telephone wire. And electricity is still not in every home. Into this moment walks a man named Powell Crosley Jr. He was born in 1886 into a wealthy Cincinnati family. His father made his fortune in soap manufacturing. But Powell was not interested in soap. He was interested in everything. At 25 years old, Powell Crosley opened his first radio factory. Not to join an industry, but to create one. Most radios in 1923 cost around $80, roughly $2,000 in today's money. Nobody could afford them. So Powell asked a question nobody else asked: what if we made them so cheap that everyone could afford one? He engineered a radio that cost $30. Then 20. Then 12. He called it the Crosley Pup, the Crosley Ace, the Crosley Bandbox. He did not just invent products. He invented affordability. Within 5 years, Crosley manufactured almost 2 million radios. He single-handedly brought radio into the American home. Where there was no Crosley factory before 1923, by 1928 there were dozens spread across the country. And then he did something that changed everything. He looked around at his success and asked, why stop at radios? In 1921, before he was famous for radios, Crosley had purchased an automobile. He became obsessed with the problem of transportation. Cars existed, but they were expensive, unreliable, built for the rich. He thought, what if I apply the same principle that worked for radios to automobiles? What if I built a car so simple, so efficient, so affordable that every American family could own one? He created the Crosley automobile. It was tiny. It was economical. It ran on less fuel and cost a fraction of what Ford charged. Reviewers called it revolutionary. But Crosley did not stop there either. He began building refrigerators, washing machines, electric stoves, radios, automobiles, broadcasting equipment. He literally had his hands in every major technology transforming American life in the 1920s. He owned the Cincinnati Reds baseball team. He invested in aviation. He pioneered early television broadcasting. He built an entire manufacturing ecosystem from the ground up. Powell Crosley Jr. was not just a businessman. He was attempting something that sounds absurd when you say it out loud. He was trying to modernize an entire civilization. Single-handedly. And for a moment, in the late 1920s, it actually worked. By 1929, Crosley's net worth was roughly $3 billion in today's money. He was one of the richest men in America. not because he had inherited wealth, but because he had created it. His factories employed thousands. His radios were in millions of homes. His automobiles dotted American streets. He was a household name. The newspapers called him a visionary. The magazines called him the man reshaping American civilization. But there is a critical moment in every ambitious person's life. The moment where they face a choice that will define the rest of their story. And that moment came for Powell Crosley in 1929. The stock market crashed. The Great Depression began. Crosley had several choices. He could consolidate. He could focus on what was working. He could become more selective, more careful, more conservative with his empire. Instead, he did the opposite. He decided to double down. He had more ideas. He invested in radio broadcasting. He wanted to own the content and the hardware. He bought radio stations. He experimented with early television. He pushed deeper into automobiles. He was not slowing down. He was accelerating. And then the world began to break. Here is the problem with trying to do everything at once: you become excellent at nothing. Crosley's automobiles were cheap, but they were not reliable. They were prone to mechanical failure. Cars are complex systems. You cannot just make it affordable to the entire vehicle without compromising safety and durability. His refrigerators worked, but cheaper competitors emerged who did the same thing for half the price. His washing machines had the same problem. Competition crushed him in every market where he was not the first mover. But the real problem was deeper than that. Crosley had spread himself so thin that he could not innovate faster than his competitors. He was managing dozens of factories, dozens of product lines, dealing with a depression, managing broadcasting operations, and trying to invent the future all at the same time. He burned out. His health declined. His focus fragmented. His decision-making became erratic. He was trying to be Superman and discovering that Superman was just a human in a cape. By 1940, the Crosley automobile business was finished. Competition had destroyed it. His radio dominance was fading. Other companies had caught up. Philco was stronger. RCA was stronger. Ford was stronger. Powell Crosley had succeeded at creating an empire. But he had not succeeded at building something that lasted. By the 1950s, Powell Crosley was largely forgotten. His factories closed. His companies were absorbed by larger competitors or went bankrupt. The man who had reshaped American civilization in the 1920s became a historical footnote. He died in 1961, relatively unknown. Most Americans had no idea who he was. But here is the secret that nobody tells you: Powell Crosley was not a failure. He did not fail because he was not smart enough. He did not fail because he was not ambitious enough. He did not fail because his ideas were wrong. He failed because he was trying to do too many things simultaneously. He was playing chess, poker, and football at the same time. He could not optimize for any single game because he was too busy trying to master all of them. The man who changed American civilization in one era could not adapt to the next one. Now, I want to be clear about something. Elon Musk is not failing. Elon Musk is not finished. But Elon Musk is living in the shadow of a pattern that destroyed a brilliant man 100 years ago. He is building electric vehicles with Tesla. He is building rockets and spacecraft with SpaceX. He is building neural interfaces with Neuralink. He is investing in AI. He is experimenting with energy storage. He bought Twitter and is rebuilding the entire social media ecosystem. He is doing all of this simultaneously. Powell Crosley did the exact same thing. The difference is that Crosley lived before the internet, before global supply chains, before venture capital, before he could delegate engineering to brilliant teams. He was doing all of this with 1920s technology and 1920s business practices. Elon Musk has better tools. But the same fundamental problem remains: human attention is finite. You cannot fully optimize Tesla while building Mars rockets. You cannot fully optimize SpaceX while managing a social media platform. You cannot master neural interfaces while also managing energy systems. At some point, something has to give. This is not about whether Elon Musk will fail. This is about something deeper. Powell Crosley succeeded because he was at the intersection of innovation, timing, and ambition. But he failed to notice something critical, that the world changes. Markets evolve. Competition emerges. Technology moves faster than any single human can manage. The man who brought radios to America could not maintain dominance when the radio industry matured. He was too busy trying to invent refrigerators. Elon Musk has already encountered the same problem, whether he realizes it or not. Tesla faced serious competition. SpaceX is facing competition from Blue Origin. Neuralink is facing competition from established neurotechnology companies. Every major company he leads is now competing against well-funded competitors who are focused entirely on that single domain. Powell Crosley eventually lost every competition he entered. Not because he was incompetent, but because his competitors were focused, specialized, optimized for victory in that specific arena. The question is not whether Elon Musk is brilliant. The question is whether brilliance is enough when you are playing 5 games at once. History does not repeat itself, but it rhymes. And the rhyme between Powell Crosley and Elon Musk is so precise that it echoes through a century. Both men saw a broken world and decided to fix it. Both men built companies that transformed industries. Both men had the audacity to attack multiple problems simultaneously. Both men inspired loyalty and criticism in equal measure. But there is a lesson hidden in Powell Crosley's story that most people miss. The man was not destroyed by his enemies. He was consumed by his own ambition. He did not lose because he was weak. He lost because he refused to choose. And in a world where competition is infinite and time is finite, refusing to choose is a form of defeat. Powell Crosley could have focused entirely on radios. He could have been the undisputed king of radio for another 2 decades. He could have built a company that lasted. Instead, he tried to be king of everything. And he ended up king of nothing. So what is the lesson for Elon Musk? What is the lesson for anyone trying to do too many things at once? It is this: ambition without focus is just chaos with a mission statement. Powell Crosley had more ambition than any person should be allowed to have. But ambition and execution are not the same thing. The companies that win are not the ones with the biggest dreams. They are the ones with the most focused execution. Apple could have tried to build cars, phones, computers, streaming services, and AI simultaneously. Instead, they focused on doing fewer things better than anyone else. Amazon could have tried to be a general store, a streaming service, a cloud provider, and a space company all at once. Instead, they built dominance in each arena sequentially, then added new areas only after establishing unquestionable leadership in the existing one. Powell Crosley tried to be everything at once. That is why history forgot him. The question for Elon Musk is whether he will learn from that warning. Whether he will realize that the next phase of his legacy might not be about doing more. It might be about doing fewer things with absolute dominance. Because the man who changed the world was not the man who did everything. It was the man who did one thing better than anyone else had ever done it before. But this is not really a story about Elon Musk. This is a story about you. Because Powell Crosley's struggle is not unique to billionaires. It is not unique to visionaries. It is a struggle that every ambitious person faces. You have multiple dreams. You have multiple goals. You have multiple ambitions. You want to change your career, build your business, improve your relationships, travel the world, master new skills, and do it all right now. Powell Crosley wanted to do all of that. And it destroyed him. The question is, what will you choose? Because that is what separates the people who build empires from the people who build empires that last. It is not the size of your dreams. It is the discipline of your focus. Powell Crosley Jr. died largely forgotten. His companies are gone. His radios are in museums. His automobiles are curiosities. But his failure teaches a lesson that has made billions of dollars for the people who listened. The lesson is this: the person who tries to do everything does nothing. The person who chooses one thing and dominates it changes the world. Powell Crosley could have owned radio forever. He could have been the man who brought sound into every American home. His name could have been remembered alongside Edison and Bell. Instead, he is a footnote, a cautionary tale, a brilliant man who learned too late that ambition without focus is just expensive chaos. And the saddest part is not that he failed. It is that his failure has been forgotten. Which means the next brilliant person to come along will repeat it again. Unless they know the story. Unless they understand the pattern. Unless they learn from Powell Crosley's ghost. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you have a Powell Crosley moment in your life right now? Are you trying to do too many things at once? Are you spreading yourself thin across multiple goals and watching your focus dissolve? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one and I reply. Because this is not just about history. This is about your life. This is about what you choose to do with the limited time you have. And if this video made you think differently about ambition, about focus, about what it really takes to build something that lasts, hit that subscribe button. History does not remember the people who tried to do everything. It remembers the people who did one thing so perfectly that it changed everything. Powell Crosley tried to change the world. He succeeded for a moment. But he did not last. Elon Musk is still writing his chapter. The question is whether he will learn from the last visionary who made the same choice. And the question for you is, which path will you choose? If this video finds you informative, then subscribe the channel and like the video. Thanks for watching.